the Marvel good guys not being held accountable?
Oh, well, it's not the good guys necessarily not being held accountable. It's interesting. So I watched WandaVision.
So let's pause. You gave spoilers for Defiance, whatever. Nobody cares. Nobody's going to watch it.
Yeah.
This is Falcon Winter Soldier.
No, that's what I'm going to say.
WandaVision.
So, well, first of all, I strongly recommend watching Defiance. Yeah. But, so yeah, we're about to give spoilers for WandaVision and for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But the thing I find interesting about those shows is who they try to paint the good guy as. And we talked about it a little bit, but it's whoever the camera follows and also what the music does while you're watching them. Because in this new Captain America and the Winter Soldier, they're trying, at least for now, I hope he has a redemption arc, but they're trying to paint the new Captain America as a bad guy. And the scene they used to do it is he is trying to stop super soldier terrorists. So these are Captain America level strong people who have tied up people to rob a building, and then when they easily could have escaped, burned the building down and killed everyone there, burned them alive. And the logic that they use is, this is the only language the strong hear, or whatever. It's such a weak thing, but they try to make you sympathetic to this group. So he goes in to try to stop them. Their plan is to kill him. They don't know he's a super soldier. Spoilers, he got some serum. But their plan is to 9-on-1, 9 super soldiers against two normal people, murder them both. They do kill his friend, but not him. He catches one of the people, and he murders the terrorist. And that's the scene you're supposed to see him as a bad guy, because he does it with the shield. And he does it by lifting the shield up and then killing the guy, and then there's blood on Captain America's shield, and Captain America would never do this. And the music that's playing is angry. And I'm watching it going, how could you possibly think this guy's the bad guy? He got chosen because he's a decorated Marine. He served in the Middle East for years and won medals. Do we think he's never killed someone before? Do we think this was his first time killing someone who's bad? And the scene...
Well, we can put bad in quotes, and yes, they did bad. You know, an enemy at this point.
Sure. The guy, they try to make it even worse because the guy's sitting on the ground begging for his life, saying, I wasn't the one that pulled the trigger. I wasn't the one that pulled the trigger. Do we not think that happens all the time on both sides? Every time someone gets captured and then killed afterwards, that they don't beg for their life at some point? So I'm watching this, I'm going, this is just a Marine doing Marine things. This is just a Marine killing a terrorist who tried to murder him and then begged for his life once he lost the fight. Yeah.
Well, we also, I haven't seen that at all. After WandaVision, I was disappointed. And I haven't watched Winter Soldier.
Then this is the second thing you're gonna point out is Captain America, I'm pretty sure, has killed people. He just kills them off screen.
Without blood.
Yes.
So I recalled the first scene in it's awesome, because his first Captain America for me was disappointing. And then Winter Soldier comes and they're like, no, Cap is cool. And he lands on this boat and he front kicks a guy so hard that I'd have to watch the scene back. Maybe we can find it. Front kicks him so hard that he slams into the side of this
metal pole
from probably 20 feet away, and then maybe even goes off the edge. So he's got a broken spine and maybe drowns if he goes off the edge.
No, he goes off the edge. He does. Yeah, he's paralyzed, drowning to death. He's just realized he can't use his legs and is now drowning to death.
It's like, did that guy pull the trigger? I mean, Cap just destroys people.
He also has a gun in the first movie. Yeah. So I know you don't see what he's shooting at, but you see him shooting at enemies.
Yes.
Does he just have terrible aim?
No, and the few times where they show you, it's like a guy in a robot suit. It's like they dehumanize them all. And then they just take, please, like that's the first time that's an enemy didn't want to die or had a confused reason for doing what they did.
I also think Cap has probably thrown people off of roofs. At one point, he crashes battleships that have humans on them, I believe. So any human that's on that battleship is going to die. He's just killed hundreds of people, but never with bad person music playing, and never with blood. Music.
Yeah. And it's I've felt disappointed in the way that Disney has handled good and evil, which is like, of course they are. But then I'm thinking back to WandaVision, where Wanda, the plot, spoilers, takes over an entire town in her grief of her loss of vision and tortures them for, we don't know how long. It's at least days, if not weeks. At one point, one of these mind-controlled people is freed, and they beg, please get me out of here, please.
I mean, one of them literally says, if you're not going to free me, kill me.
Kill me.
This is worse than death.
Yes, this is worse than death.
She does this to 1,000 people, including children.
Yes, and she's understandably sad and grieving, and does this, and is warned about it, and realizes what she's doing, and doesn't come. And then finally, at the end of it, in the final episode, lets these people go. And the message to her from the supporting characters, they'll never know what you did for them, which is to say, you kidnapped and tortured them and eventually let them go. Like, imagine if that was the way that we treated kidnap and torturers. It's like, look, you have 30 days to release the victim, in which case you're a good person. Yeah. It's ludicrous. It's insane. And instead of taking it the interesting route of like, Wanda's bad. Like yes, Wanda had not
or
bad. Gray. She had horrible things happen to her, has way too much power, couldn't handle it, and hurt a lot of people. No. Like, they'll never know.
And now she'll just go on to be a protagonist in the next movie.
Or like, they'll just switch it up. But it's the same sort of it's just disappointing. And what it says, unfortunately, I think about the audience is like, you don't have moral principles. You don't. What you have are completely manipulatable emotions, and all I need to do is play the right music, and I can tell you who was good and who was bad. And that is a damning assessment of mainstream audience.
If most people think Wanda is still the good guy, and
that's what Disney thinks of its audience, regardless.
Sure.
Disney thinks its audience will buy that.
Yes. Which
is to say, I mean, it's an interesting way to view commercials and media, is like, this is what the writer thinks about you. They're writing this for you.
Yeah,
this is what they think you'll buy.
They think you'll forgive torturing thousands of people for days on end as long as we play the right music and follow them around with the camera. Yeah, and they think that you'll damn a Marine for killing one person.
If there's blood on
If there's
show.
blood and we play the right music.
And we give you any information about the reasons of the terrorist doing it. And I think you mentioned that the terrorist was also made a woman to make her more sympathetic.
Yeah, in the comics, the leader of the terrorist organization is a man, and they switch her to a woman in the show, I think, in an effort to try to make her more sympathetic.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, if you have this empathy, I would recognize that all the real world terrorists also have what they think are good reasons.
Yeah.
So that's the weird thing, is to root for this woman, think that this is a bad Captain America because he murdered someone, while the old Captain America definitely murdered people, while this person was a Marine, commended for murdering people, and while in the real world, you damn terrorists whose reasons are, I think, probably tied with this TV group. All of that is happening in the same brain, and that's what I find interesting. Mm-hmm. Someone doesn't like the real world terrorists, likes the TV terrorists, likes old Cap, doesn't like this new Cap.
Well, even within this, you're saying like there's this loaded word of terrorist. I don't want to harp on it too much, but it has its judge, jury, and executioner right off the bat. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm using it in the literal sense. This group is trying to accomplish something by creating fear. Mm-hmm. That's why they burned 14 people alive.
Sure, but if that's how we use the word terrorist and we used it evenly, the president of the United States, anytime the president says there will be a sanction, that's terrorism. He makes you know what I mean? Like, if that's how we want to use the word terrorist and we want to evenly apply it, we just populated the world with a lot of terrorists.
Sure.
And if the way that you deal with terrorists is you don't negotiate and you do all this, it's like, okay, well, now we don't negotiate with the president of the United States based on your own principle
often
reflected back upon you.
Terrorist versus freedom fighter, revolutionary versus dissident. It just depends where you're standing.
The idea that using fear as a way of control, as a unique means of warfare, is also goofy, and it also contains within it, it's like, no, the way you're supposed to fight is with your tanks. Well, you don't have any tanks. You know what I mean? Like, you're supposed to use drones in order to fight. It's classic the British when there was the American Revolution, which again, we call it the American Revolution. I've heard that some have called it the War of American Aggression across the pond. The way that they talked about the guerrilla fighters was with disdain, because they wouldn't stand in a line.
Yeah, of course, we have more soldiers than you, so the most fair thing to do is just stand in a line and shoot each other. Well, we have less soldiers than you, so the most fair thing to do is to kill you in our woods
and shoot your officers. Yeah. It's like, well, that's not right. And again, so it's just, just a lot of people in conflict, and some of the conflict is over the assertion of who is good and who is evil, and much of that is done with principles that do not hold up if they were universalized.
Yeah, that's the thing. When I was watching it, I was just annoyed with the fact that through music, they were trying to make me think this person was a bad person for murdering one person that had just tried to kill him. It's like, well, wait. But then I should have thought he was a bad person for being a Marine, and I should have thought Captain America was a bad person, and this just doesn't hold up. And so that's where I thought it was simultaneously interesting and also very inconsistent.
Sure. Hope that you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to see more like this and have us do more podcasts, we are 100% funded by our generous patrons. And if you'd like to contribute, there's a link in the description, and we'll have one pop up on the screen right here so that we can do more podcasts where we have fun conversations and hopefully some deep ones like this. Either way, hope that you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.